it's Corey, and today you're gonna learn how to play Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee. I think the version that we have for you today is very approachable for a beginner player, but there may be a few elements that you might have to omit for now and then slowly introduce over time. But in general, with enough patience and practice, you'll be able to play this with no problem. So let's just jump right into it. We have 6 chords in this song, and we are going to introduce those to you and then talk a little bit about some transition-ish things that could make it a lot easier if you follow some of these little tips. To start, we have an A major chord. That's going to be your first finger placed on the 3rd string, 1st fret, and then your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string. Next, we do have a B minor chord. Be aware of the shape we're using for B minor because it's going to be what we use for the C sharp minor as well. For B minor, we're taking our 1st finger and then we're just barring across the entire 2nd fret. You're going to want to take your 2nd finger and lay that on top, and then take your 3rd finger and place it on the 4th fret, 4th string. And that's B minor. Now we're going to take that same shape where we were for B minor, and we're going to just bring it down to the 4th fret, but keep everything else the same. So instead you end up barring all the way across the 4th fret and then placing your 3rd finger on the 6th fret of the 4th string, and that is your C sharp minor chord. We also have a D major chord that's going to take place all along the 2nd fret, but we're not barring. We're going to take our 1st finger, place it on the 4th string, our 2nd finger on the 3rd string, and then our 3rd finger on the 2nd string. Next up, we have the E7 chord. E7, you're taking your 1st finger, placing it on the 4th string of the 1st fret, then take your 2nd finger going on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then your 3rd finger is going on the 2nd fret, 1st string. And that's your E7. Our last chord is the F sharp minor. So for that chord, you're taking your 1st finger, placing it on the 3rd string, 1st fret. Your 2nd finger is going on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and then your 3rd finger is going on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. So the first thing you're going to want to really do is just make sure you're very familiar with all those chords. That means you can play them without having to look directly at the chord chart. It's not a full memorization, but it's knowing it well enough that you don't need to look back at for reference at some point in the song. And this step might take you a couple days, maybe even weeks. It's different for every person, but have that patience for yourself. We transition quite often from an A major to an F sharp minor. Notice how easy of a transition that is. It's just putting your 3rd finger down. A major, F sharp minor. Now, the trickiest transition, and I'm pointing this out because it's not an easy, like, oh, just put a single finger down and then you got it. It's one that's going to require a little bit more work, is you're also going to be moving from your B minor to your E7. It's just a full lift, so there's not like really an easy way to practice it. You know, just going back and forth between the two, trying to eliminate any amount of gaps as you're just practicing is going to make it a lot easier when you then incorporate it into the song with the strumming pattern. So for this tune, we're mostly just going to be using a down, down, up, down, up strumming pattern for the song. So that is essentially just the island strum, but you're kind of adding a little bit more of a pickup. So it's not a relaxed strum. It's a down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Most of the time you're going to be changing chords between strumming patterns. So you'll do one full strumming pattern of down, down, up, down, up, and then you'll switch to the next chord. So the intro section to the song, for instance, would be like this. Starting on an A major, you have down, down, up, down, up. Then you're going to, again, just put down that 1st finger, switch to the F sharp minor of down, down, up, down, up. Then full lift to the D, down, down, up, down, up. And then to your E7, down, down, up, down, up. For the verse sections, you're going to be playing your A major for 2 strumming patterns and then your E7 for 2 strumming patterns for the first 2 lines of rockin' around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. For the second half of the verse, that's where it gets a little tricky because you're going to have those really quick transitions between your B minor to your E7. So we'll have mistletoe hung. So you're splitting the strumming patterns. You have a down, down, and then switch the E7 up, down, up, back to the B minor, down, down, up, down, up. So again, you're essentially doing beats 1 and 2 for the B minor and beats 3 and 4 for the E7. One way you could sort of get around this for now is you could just play on beats 1 and 3. So essentially you would just be moving to playing on the chord change for this section, where you'd have mistletoe hung where you can see. And then you're going to repeat that same kind of pattern. So to demonstrate the very first verse here, this is what that is all together. 1, 2, here we go. Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see, every couple tries to stop. Now you're going to repeat that same pattern for your verse 2. It's not until we get to the bridge where things are going to change a little bit with our strumming pattern. And I would play a little bit softer for this first line, but you're going to play for 2 strumming patterns of you will get a sentimental. Then you're going to switch all the way down to that 4th fret for the C sharp minor, feelin' when you hear. Then when we get to F sharp, we have voices singing, let's be jolly. Now after the F sharp, you could just have a non-chord tone and then not play anything. However, in the song sheet and what I plan to do is I'll be playing that B minor again, but just for a single strum that I mute immediately. So again, what I'm doing here is I'm strumming down and using my hand to stop the sound. And it makes a nice, really good percussive sound. And you're gonna do that with deck the halls with, move to the E7, boughs of holly. This is what all that sounds like put together. So again, this is the bridge section. 1, 2, here we go. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices saying, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly. After you get done with that bridge section, you're then gonna go back to the verse section. The words are different, but everything we did when I outlined that for you is the same. Repeating the bridge and then ending it out with verse 4. Now, verse 4 is a little bit different. It's going to follow the same harmonic structure as what we did with all the other verses, but the strumming is gonna be a little bit different here. When we get to in the new old-fashioned way, we're going to do what we did in the bridge by having those really percussive single strums, but instead of the B minor to the E7, we're just gonna stay on an E7, and on new old fashion, we're going to do those strums where we percuss. So it'll be new old fashion, and then we go and do the intro of what we did initially with playing the A to then an F sharp minor to a D and an A, all for a single strum pattern, ending on an A whenever you feel like it. 1, 2, here we go. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone dancing so merrily in the new old-fashioned way. Basically, you have a verse to learn and then a bridge to learn. There's not really any other parts to this song. They're just repeating, and then we're adding those little expressive elements with the strum and then mute. If you're thinking to yourself like, golly, I understand all those parts were broken down, but I need to see what it looks like all put together. Don't worry, I've got you. We're about to do play along right now. 1, 2, here we go. tune. Again, it really is as simple as just breaking it down between knowing when you're playing a verse or knowing when you're playing the bridge and just adding those extra articulation sections here. I hope you have a very wonderful holiday season. We have a couple other fun tunes coming out this week, but otherwise I wish you the merriest of holidays and a happy new year. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Later we'll have